I don't like that beginning. I wanted to just start out cold. I don't like that intro. It just occurred to me.
It's getting to be a drag to introduce myself all the time. I just don't think I can do it anymore. Today is March 6th, 2023. It has been 483 days since my last upload on YouTube and 3 years since I shared my work here consistently. This, then, is a revised note to the viewer, to the reader. One part epilogue to the hopes that characterized my early work on YouTube, and the other a foreword as I step into something new, calling upon my commitment to the written word and the images that encase the life that surrounds it as the basis for the stories I wish to tell. And like any good story, this begins with leaving one home in search of another.
Alright, see ya.
See ya. In the early months of 2022, I was back and forth to Los Angeles from Oregon. During that winter, I was struggling to find my footing. I had published my first collection of writings and was getting down new stories, but the progress I was making in my craft was diminished by a pervading sense of limbo. Unrecognized and unknown for the reasons I'd wished, I'd grown hungry for something outside myself. I was trying for something that felt ever so slightly out of reach. I spent so much time in self-imposed isolation to focus on my work that I had starved other parts of my heart. It was the case of too much of a good thing up in that studio. I had overstayed my welcome and was paying for it with a bitter loneliness. So I opted for a change of scenery, another place to put my talents. I went looking for the master. Things started to change at the end of winter.
Well, God said to Abraham, kill me a son.
Van Neistat called on me for reinforcement with his own YouTube channel. I was on a plane to Los Angeles the next day.
God said you can do what you want, but the next time you see me coming, you better run.
Over the next few months, Neistat and I made many different things together. He had taught me much from afar, and even more in the studio.
Still and done. God said out on Highway 61.
Our collaboration was about paying a debt of creative gratitude I had incurred working in the idiom of filmmaking of his invention, his and Casey's contribution to the art form.
Please, God, be in focus.
I had grown up in that world. I'd got my reps in as a storyteller there. I was compelled to make the pilgrimage and also step out of their shadow to break with the anxiety of influence while making it not seem like encountering their work was something negligible. I had to pay my respects in a way that was in alignment of my appreciation, in recognition to the doors that body of work had opened in my mind when I was getting my start. But I am out to bring things the distance in my own style, in my own time. In the summer, after working remotely, I moved to Santa Monica. I packed my life into a suitcase and these old film cases and boarded a train. I was on the heels of a long-held dream, one that formed the foundation of everything I had wished to express and achieve when I started this channel in 2017. I stepped into a good life in Los Angeles. Things had a way of opening themselves up to me in a way I hadn't known them to in the past, and in return, my heart too opened to the circumstances and people around me. I came for the work, but it was matters of the heart that made the biggest impression on me. I was never more surrounded by a realness of friendship than I was there. Part of me was just born.
See? I told you I'd arrive in style.
Under the tripod it goes. Hi, Braxton.
See you in the morning, Christopher.
During that time, I was writing stories and living new ones for a collection of narratives, sketches, and other writings I published on TikTok.
What's happening today?
Number 1. Post.
And what's the other thing happening today?
Oh, my princess is coming today.
All through those months, I was writing to a girl across the ocean. We met for the first time at the end of August. She came to stay with me.
How you doing?
Good.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I've been sitting here. I'll start cleaning the house again if we're not.
We spent 2 weeks together during the summer heat wave. They were the hottest 2 weeks of the year. That was the beginning of the end of Los Angeles. I had a good thing going in LA, but the woman I had fallen in love with was in London.
What day is it?
Wednesday, September 28th. One week to London.
It's the hell day is it? Thursday? It's Thursday.
You're gonna take that from me when I leave, aren't you?
Take what?
hell?
The hell? Oh yeah, it's hell.
Ready? Publish changes? Oh, very good, Chris. Look at him go up there.
Last day.
Last full day, this list is almost scratched out. Look at that woman go.
What's up, beautiful lady? Welcome.
Oh, now I can't open this bag. I'm gonna pass it.
Okay, let's get collaborative.
Pass it around, pass it around. Braxton, what is it?
Final night in Los Angeles.
How's it feel?
Sad, but mostly very happy for the future.
Oh my god, that's a sensitive break. Alright, the real time.
This is the test.
Slow. Alright, we're gonna get it on the first.
Yeah, you're good. It's a tight one, but you're good. Oh.
Back up a little quicker. Bye, have a good day.
You're actually Braxton. I swear.
Now that's the spirit.
Wait, so you went on the highway with this?
In the autumn, I left America to be with her.
Thank you.
I'd been treading deep water in my own restlessness for so many years, it felt good to live for something else for a while. I stepped away from my work for a little bit. I was building a private life here.
It's perfect.
I worked out of cafes and libraries while I completed editing on my last collection from Los Angeles with Love, and spent the rest of my time making things in this room, building out this small studio space into a place where we have everything we need to live and work and feel at home.
Mon mal de tête, mon boîte au froid, j'y pense et puis j'oublie. C'est la vie, c'est la vie.
And the place has its many charms.
The bathroom situation.
But there is something here that is conducive to the kind of creativity I have been yearning for, the kind of creativity seen through the lens of a life more complete, a larger picture than I have captured in the past.
Et moi, et moi, et moi, qui vais au brunissoir, au sauna pour perdre du poids. J'y pense et puis j'oublie. C'est la vie, c'est la vie. 300 millions de soviétiques. Et moi, et moi, et moi, avec mes manies et mes tics, dans mon petit lit en plume d'oie. J'y pense et puis j'oublie. C'est la vie, c'est la vie. J'y pense et puis j'oublie. C'est la vie, c'est la vie.
Leaving Los Angeles, I felt a pull to what I had done before. There was a sense of renewed possibility to this well that I used to draw. I spent the autumn months working on a short film about our life during that season. The project was a spiritual successor to the home movies, but the whole affair became too personal, too probing. In the early weeks of the new year, I built out a timeline with a rough cut. It was competent and well written, and in many ways contained what I am trying the hardest to get down on the page. But it was written in a season in love, under the spell of love. It was written in my Los Angeles phase, or just as I was coming to the end of it. I wasn't pushing things far enough. It was a window into my life I wished to keep from the camera. I've been down that road. I know where it leads. I lost sight of the ends as the means began to break up. I could no longer see the images on the screen. But through the autumn and winter, I remained unwavering in my dedication to what I saw as my duties and rituals as a writer. I hadn't abandoned my discipline in waking early and coming to my writing with a feeling of purpose, the same feeling I'd been driven by in the early days as a filmmaker. These were different kinds of manuscripts. Some drew upon my life, but others were out floating on their own. Small observations, remembrances of dialogue, self-contained sketches, and fragments of new short stories. Somewhere along the way, on those calm, quiet mornings alone, I realized I was producing material for a new collection of writings. My ambition is to emphasize the performance of the writings, to strip back some of the visuals that I built up around my last collection and pare the stories and sketches to their essentials. It's called Studies, and will build off all the lessons I have learned as a writer and filmmaker over the last few years. My luck has been good, and I have kept what I see as my craft intact. The internet has broken down ancient barriers, but I am looking at a map still uncharted at its edges. I'm out to fill it in. I'm still searching for an alchemy of words and images, wherein I can create something new in writing. There's an elusiveness about it I'm out to catch. It's just a matter of getting it right, of getting down a moment, a scene, an impression, a story, as truly as I can, born both of memoir and fiction. I have ambitions to collect the writings in print, to tour the stories in concert, but something has got to give for that to happen. I need more notches in the belt and jewels in the crown before I can embark on that part of the adventure. What will follow this new collection? When I return to the blank page, I'm holding close to my chest for now. I'll say that the project in progress is a series of long-form, substantive YouTube videos that will bring a visual layer to my writing that I have not seen explored before. I need more time to hone what that is, but the road is long, and that's where I'm headed. The last few years have been spent alone on the borderline between what I have made in the past and where I feel I must take my work in the future. I dreamed of someone coming along to show me my place in all of this. Some people spend